Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. All right, man, let's talk a little bit about this controversy that's going around. Most people think Billy Joe Saunders is a better fighter than Caleb Plant. I think he gives Canelo a better run than Caleb Plant, and I'm just here to say I don't think so. I think Billy Joe Saunders is probably one of the most overrated fighters so far. And let's just look at it for a minute. Billy Joe Saunders, I'm just looking at this for the first time, comparing them. And let me pull up Caleb Plant. Give me a minute. But hey, hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Want to make a donation to the channel? Best way to do that is share the video. Share the channel with somebody else, but PayPal and Cash App is in the description. Cash App is CJ Good 313 to be exact. So Caleb Plant turned pro in 2014, and Billy Joe Saunders turned pro in 2009. Okay, Billy Joe Saunders is around 3 years older than him, I think. They don't have Billy Joe Saunders. They don't have his birthday. Okay, Caleb Plant is 28 years old. Okay. And he debuted 5 years before, or after Billy Joe Saunders, excuse me. And Billy Joe Saunders been pro since February 28th, 2009. So he been pro for a while. And Caleb Plant turned pro May 10th, 2014. Okay, and you look at Billy Joe Saunders' resume, and compared to Caleb Plant resume, we can start off there first. They pretty much was fighting the same caliber of guys, man. And a lot of times, it's hard to really say with that first chunk from Matthew Hall to Attila Montclair for Billy Joe Saunders, with Montclair to Matthew Hall, and for Caleb Plant, Travis Davis to about Carlos Galvin. It's hard to say because a lot of these dudes in the beginning of their career, they don't have big promoters, they don't have big managers. And you only get the fights when you had a big promoter and a big manager for most fighters. Look at Caleb Plant. He's been pro for going on 7 years in May. And for 7 years, he doesn't average 2 fights a year. I mean, he averages 3 fights a year. So from 14 to 21, going into 21, he's only averaging 3 fights a year. And I don't think that's healthy for a young fighter. Okay? And it's not. This dude is legit fighting 3 fights a year, man. And he started off at middleweight, as most of us know. And so did Billy Joe Saunders, but I double check that. Billy Joe Saunders' first fight was at super middleweight, but he would go down to middleweight. And you look at the big names. Gary Spike O'Sullivan. He fought John Ryder, Chris Eubanks Jr., which a lot of people thought the fight can go either way. He had a majority decision over Andy Lee. Okay, Arthur Kova. He didn't look good in that fight. Willie Monroe, another sloppy fight. David Lemieux, when most people think he was on that oxyframe, allegedly. Martin Murray, and coming up against Canelo Alvarez. And you talk about some of those fights, and I will say Gary Spike O'Sullivan, John Ryder, Chris Eubanks Jr., Andy Lee, and Willie Monroe, and David Lemieux are better than, Uztagi, Mike Lee. He hasn't fought. And then you look at David Benavidez's resume, and to be honest, it's the same thing. It's legit the same thing. And Caleb Truex at that point, and to be honest, he hasn't fought those guys that you want to see him fight. But then again, when you think about it, Billy Joe's been pro for going on 12 years now. He's been a professional fighter for 12 years. He got 30 fights in 12 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's what? About what? It's about 2-point-something fights a year, 2.5 fights a year, somewhere in there. So, he kind of on track with Caleb Plant as far as years. But you look, Martin Murray was past his prime. Okay, Chris Eubanks gave him everything he wanted. David Lemieux was a better fighter than what Caleb Plant fought, in my opinion. Maybe Uzatagi, him fight, it can go either way. But then you got Willie Monroe, Andy Lee, Chris Eubanks Jr., John Ryder,
and Greg Spike O'Sullivan. He got a solid resume compared to Caleb Plant. Now, if you put him up against a guy, I know it's like some other fighters, but his resume is on par from what you want. But still, then also he fought Porky Medina. Excuse me. Caleb Plant also fought Porky Medina. I think that's him. Yeah, he fought Porky Medina. Okay. Could Porky Medina beat Gary Spike O'Sullivan? Yeah. John Ryder? Yeah. Could he beat Chris Eubanks Jr. at the time? Yeah. Even when he had that fight with Dave Lemieux. I think, could he beat Andy Lee? Yeah. Could he beat Arthur Kova? Yeah. Could he beat Willie Monroe? Yeah. Porky Medina at his best can beat all those guys, but he didn't impress. But then when you look at the knockout ratios, Billy Joe Saunders is sub 50%. Caleb Plant is around 60, and of course he didn't show it versus Caleb Truex. I don't understand why he didn't step up and get the knockout. It was there. Those things are there. And to be honest, Caleb Plant has more. If we talking about beating Canelo, he has more power than Billy, and rightfully so. Billy Joe Saunders, most of his career was at welterweight, but he got more power, and I think he's young enough. Only being pro, what I say, what he turned pro, 14, going on 7 years in May. He still can learn how to be aggressive. Now, I don't know that coach he got can show him how to be aggressive, but there's still time to be aggressive. Billy Joe Saunders is a guy that at his best, because he fought Demetrius Andrade, his resume would probably be top 10% in boxing right now amongst his peers that around the same time. Had he fought Demetrius Andrade and beat him, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It'd be, he has more season, but to me, Caleb Plant got more power. Caleb Plant can do what he do. He can box on the outside, be slick. But I still think, the Uzataki fight shows that he has a little bit more aggressiveness than Billy Joe Saunders, but he's a better fighter than Billy Joe. If him and Billy Joe Saunders fought, if I was Canelo, I'd have been like, and I got some news coming on about Canelo and Ivan Uterman too, man. I don't know if I can say it. If I can say it, I'll say it. So Canelo beat another wounded duck. But I think Caleb Plant is by far a superior fighter. I've never been impressed by Billy Joe Saunders. The only fight that he impressed, even when he won the super middleweight belt, man. Versus who? He won a vacant belt versus Shefet Isafui. A dude who did win 3 straight, but you looking before Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, it's like, who the fuck did he fight? This dude is 31 years old. Let's round up his resume. His first fight, 8-1-0. Second fight, 1-0-0. Third fight, 1-12-1. Debut, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th fight. In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 span, in 8 fights he fought. 5 of his 8, first fights was guys that make debut, 2-0, 0-1-0. Another guy that made his debut, 8-0-0, 0-4-0, 21, 12-1, 19, 0-0. Okay, that's a good win. All those basically was in Germany, and one was in Char. Okay, another guy to make his debut. All in Dochu. Another guy that was 14, 24-1, 17, 5-0, 15, 9-0, 22, 2-1, 8, 10-2, 9, 12-0, 6, 11-2, 26, 29-6, 21, 17-3, 9, 3-1, 31-1-0, 4, 3-0, 56, 13-0, 14, 1-3. Billy Joe Saunders, 27, 0-0. Then the last 3 fights, 15, 6-0, 11, 1-0, 22. He didn't fought no fucking body. That was a gift for him to get that belt. That's a gift. And to be honest, the one time that Billy Joe Saunders looked good, most people thought he was on the Oscar frame. So to me, Billy Joe Saunders ain't look impressive. And none of the Cobra fight, he like a fat fuck. An Andy Lee fight, I can't remember. Chris Eubanks Jr. fight could have went either way. Come on. Dave Lemieux fight could have went either way. No, he got boxed it, but that's the fight that people thought he was on that shit. Allegedly. So, what's going on? I just think Caleb Plant a better fighter, but it's sad that they can't fight Billy Joe and Caleb Plant for the right to fight Canelo. That make a lot of sense. Why not let them two fight and then Canelo fight the winner? But then again, I don't blame him. Billy Joe get a payday, Plant get a payday. Because that's what you're doing when you fight Canelo. When you ain't a bona fide puncher, you fighting to get a payday. because you know you 7 points down already. But I mean, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Plant better than Billy Joe? I do. In the fights that Billy Joe had that's relevant on his resume, Gary Spike O'Sullivan didn't go on to do nothing. He beat John Ryder when he was undefeated, but hold on. John Ryder got 5 losses now since the Billy Joe Saunders fight. And he's lost to guys like Nick Blackwell. He got TKO by him. Jack Aimfield, unanimous decision, had a split decision versus Rocky Field, and that's all the fuck you need to know. Split decision lost versus Rocky Field, and he lost to Callum. That's all you need to know. So, a lot of domestic guys he fought, like Gary Spike O'Sullivan, John Ryder, they always on the come up together. Chris Eubanks, a lot of people think, some people think he beat him. Like I said, when he fought Andy Lee, let's see. Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders fought Andy Lee at the end of his career. Andy Lee only had one more fight and he retired. He was coming off a split draw to Peter Quillen, which a lot of people thought that fight can go either way. So, like I said before, a lot of the relevant fights that Billy Joe's had on his resume, Gary Spike O'Sullivan didn't do shit. J.R. Ryder didn't do shit. Chris Eubanks could have won the way. He didn't do shit. Andy Lee, guy that was ending his career, that he barely beat by majority decision. Arthur Colbert didn't look good physically. The William Monroe fight was a sloppy fight. And the one fight that he looked good that's relevant, David Lemieux, people talking about, that was 3.25 years ago, more than over 3 3/4 years ago. A lot of people thought he was doping, you know. So, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody gonna have their opinion, but I think Caleb Plant the better fighter. I think he give Canelo the better fight. And I think he could beat Canelo more than Billy Joe Saunders. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, query, sponsorship, video request, all our social media links, subscription. Fastest way to beat me is Twitter. Fastest way to reach me is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all links subscription. Facebook group link there as well too. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CG Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well. Peace.